So welcome everyone to our webinar today on the top 5 public sector HR trends in 2025. We're excited to share our key insights from our latest research and help you to navigate the evolving HR landscape in government agencies. As you're all getting in here to the chat or to the GoToWebinar, be sure to take a look at the right of your screen. You'll see a panel where you're able to add in questions or comments throughout the webinar. You can use the audio drop-down box and select either computer or phone audio for the call-in details if needed. Tomorrow, you'll be receiving an email with the link to the recording of the presentation and a copy of these slides. If you have any questions, though, after the webinar is over, feel free to reach out to us at contact@neogov.com, and we can go ahead and introduce ourselves. So my name is Stephanie Tracy Kalash. I'm the Director of Corporate Marketing here at NeoGov. I am almost on my 1-year anniversary here at NeoGov, and it has been a really awesome year and really cool experience to be able to gather all these insights and meet all of you and work so closely with the public sector agencies that serve our country. I am joined by Amanda, my wonderful colleague, and I'll let her go ahead and introduce herself as well.
Thanks, Stephanie. Hello, all. So nice to see you. My name is Amanda Kadici. I'm a solutions engineer here at NeoGov. I've been with the company for about 2.5 years, but I myself used to be a customer working in county level government down in Southwest Florida. So very excited to be here today to talk about our trends.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. So a little bit about our survey. Each year we survey government HR customers and folks throughout the industry to gain insight into the challenges and trends you all are facing in this new year. Today we'll explore the top 5 HR trends shaping government agencies for 2025. We'll break down the challenges you all are facing, highlight key data points from our latest report, and offer actionable solutions to help you address the challenges effectively. To create the report, we surveyed over 1,000 HR professionals across various government agencies, including cities, counties, state organizations. The insights paint a clear picture of the priorities, challenges, and strategies shaping public sector HR this year. Now that you know who we've surveyed, let's look at what they cited as top priorities for 2025. So what we found when we asked about all of your top priorities for 2025, the first and foremost, recruiting was the #1 focus. A very close second at 45% was retention, with growing concerns due to turnover and retirements. Employee engagement is next at 35%, with agencies striving to create positive workplaces. Employee skill development is next, and agencies indicated a need to future-proof their workforce, as well as succession planning at 26%, which is critical, as retirement rates rise. These priorities highlight the biggest challenges and focus areas for HR leaders this year, but how are agencies adapting to these challenges? Based on our full survey data and insights, we've identified the 5 key trends shaping public sector HR in 2025. So let's take a closer look at what's driving change and how agencies can stay ahead. All right. Our first major trend is that the job market is shifting in favor of public sector agencies. That is news since for the first time since 2019, job openings have started to decrease while applications have increased in the public sector. Currently, our NeoGov data reflects that state and local governments are actively hiring, with over 580,000 positions hired over the last year. Public sector job seekers have long been attracted to steady benefits, job security, and the meaningful work that's provided by public sector employment. Despite all of that, our survey data does indicate that 62% of agencies are still having trouble finding qualified candidates. And that's where that nuance lies, right? We're getting more applicants. There's interest in the public sector, which is exciting, but finding those key employees for key roles is still a challenge. But there are a number of strategies that you can employ to attract and retain top talent. Those include expanding job sourcing, improving job positioning, enhancing job appeal, and optimizing the hiring process. And on a final note, as we look at the changing job market and landscape for 2025, recent changes in the federal government should be something for you to keep in mind. Agencies should be on the lookout for a potential rise in highly qualified professionals in state and local candidate pools as federal agencies restructure and federal workers potentially move to state and local service. I will hand it over to you now, Amanda, to dive deeper into the details of our first trend.
Wonderful. So let's talk retention and compensation strategies here. So despite more applicants to fill these open jobs, 69% of our survey respondents reported that employees are leaving for higher pay. This data is suggesting a need to either increase the compensation or improve the sourcing. Only 40% of the agencies plan to offer competitive salaries, but many are using strategies like sign-on bonuses, tuition reimbursement, and retention incentives as well. So while this may not be feasible for every agency and every role, agencies can focus on sourcing and job marketing to attract and retain talent. So let's start by diversifying our job sourcing channels. You can utilize industry-specific job boards such as governmentjobs.com. You can also expand into social media with LinkedIn, Facebook Jobs, Instagram, and X. Other ideas include employee referral programs with financial incentives and partnerships with universities and community colleges to connect with students looking for work. Additionally, putting effort into enhancing your employee brand will increase your value to job seekers. Agencies that showcase their culture, mission, and career growth attract better fit candidates. Posting success stories of career growth within the agency or highlighting public service impact can help engage mission-driven professionals. A simple update that can be made today would be to write a job description for the job seeker, highlight what's important to them. So according to SHRM, in a competitive job market, the best candidates are off the market within 10 days. Slow hiring processes mean losing top talent to private sector jobs or other agencies that move faster. Based on NeoGov customer data, the use of HR technology and process automation can reduce hiring time by 30 to 50%. It's a really large number. Tactical ways to speed up hiring include automating your job postings and candidate screening to accelerate that shortlisting step, leverage AI-powered candidate matching to identify best fit candidates faster, implementing structured interview processes with preset questions and automated scheduling, adopt digital offer letters and e-signatures to cut paperwork delays, and use real-time hiring analytics to track bottlenecks and optimize your processes. Speeding up hiring isn't just about efficiency. It's about securing top talent before they go elsewhere. Agencies that streamline their hiring process will have a competitive edge in securing top talent, while those with delays may face staffing shortages and increased workloads for their teams. All right, back to you, Tracy, for back to you, Stephanie, excuse me, for our next trend here.
Oh, I think I was muted. I'm going to do that again. Our second major trend is the rise of AI and automation in public sector HR. It's likely no surprise to all of you that AI and automation are here to stay, but it will be interesting to see, or I'm excited to share rather, how the insights we pulled from the data. So, like I said, AI is already transforming HR in the private sector, but in the public sector, we're seeing a much slower adoption rate. In fact, our research shows that 65% of agencies haven't even started using AI for recruitment yet. We heard things through our research like, will AI or introducing AI cause bias instead of eliminating it? How do we ensure that AI tools comply with government hiring regulations? Will AI replace HR jobs? These are all valid concerns, but the reality is that AI is a tool to enhance HR, not replace it. If implemented thoughtfully, AI can help agencies make faster, fairer, and more data-driven hiring decisions without losing the human element in human resources.
All right. The best way to approach AI adoption is to start small. Over half of you have started implementing AI into recruitment. Survey respondents reported using AI for writing job postings, emails to candidates, and even interview questions, as well as screening candidates for improved time to hire. Just like your peers, you can start by identifying one low-risk process and gradually integrate AI into your daily workforce. Agencies that start early will be better positioned to attract top talent faster, improve efficiency, and enhance candidate experience. AI can streamline processes like automating job postings and resume screening, automatically post jobs across multiple platforms, and analyze resumes to identify top candidates based on required skills and experience. This reduces manual screening time and ensures no qualified applicant gets overlooked. AI-powered interview scheduling. Many agencies struggle with slow hiring processes. AI-driven tools can coordinate interview availability, send automated reminders, and even reduce time to hire by up to 50%. AI for fair and inclusive hiring. Mitigate unconscious bias by blinding candidate information like names and demographic details during the initial screening process. Some agencies are already using AI-driven structured interviews to ensure fair, consistent hiring processes. And finally, AI-driven employee engagement. Once employees are on board, AI can support engagement by analyzing feedback surveys, identifying burnout risks, and even recommending personalized training options.
A great first stop for agencies that are interested but hesitant about using AI in their HR practices could be a tool like OpenAI's new ChatGPT Gov. In their announcement just at the end of last month, this thing is like 2 weeks old, OpenAI shared that more than 90,000 users across nearly 3,500 federal, state, and local government agencies have utilized ChatGPT to support day-to-day work since the beginning of 2024. So it's already embedded in our workforce, but this new tech provides an additional way to access OpenAI's frontier models and accommodates non-public sensitive data in a secure environment. So definitely something to keep in mind if you're considering it.
Overall, we can agree that HR professionals are overwhelmed with manual, repetitive tasks. Using AI to automate some of those repetitive tasks can free up time for strategic HR priorities. All right, now we're going to go into a poll question here, and I want you to think about your own workload and what that looks like right now. If AI could free up 10 hours of your week, which HR initiative would you finally have time to focus on? Please take a moment to select the area you'd like to focus on most, and we will display results here in just a moment. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for that feedback. It'd be so nice, right? Being an HR professional myself, to have that time back in our day to focus on the strategic things and the things that maybe we've been putting off for a long time, to be able to finally get those things done.
Yeah, and it looks like employee engagement and well-being was an area that people were really interested in being able to leverage AI. And so just thinking about how you might be able to do that, again, using some tools available to you or taking sort of baby steps, if you will, as you dip your toe into bringing AI into your workforce management could be really helpful.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So next, we'll talk about the importance of employee experience and belonging. A strong employee experience directly impacts retention, productivity, and engagement. Next slide. Oh, maybe we're having some, I know I was having internet issues earlier. Oh. There we go. Moving right along. Okay. So employee experience, or EX, can no longer be a second thought. It's a key driver of retention, engagement, and performance. Yet many public sector agencies struggle to create a work environment where employees feel valued, supported, and motivated. Some key stats for our survey showed that only 26% of agencies prioritize succession planning, which means employees can't always see a clear path for growth and can lead to disengagement and higher turnover. And 41% of government employees report feeling burnt out. No surprise there. Staffing shortages, increasing workloads, and a lack of well-being initiatives are really taking a toll on employees, which impacts productivity, morale, and overall job satisfaction. So a key question for you to consider is, what kind of workplace are you creating? Are you putting effort into your employees' well-being and fostering a positive culture? The good news, however, is that there are actionable ways to improve your employee experience without requiring massive budgets or major overhauls. Here's what's working for forward-thinking agencies: personalized training and career development, recognition and reward initiatives, flexible work options, and we'll talk about this a lot more today, but I'm interested in that one, and wellness programs, again, to address burnout and overall employee well-being. For training and development, employees want to grow, but agencies don't have structured career paths in place. You could use workforce analytics to create customized learning paths, track skill development, and ensure employees have the resources that they need to advance. For recognition, over 40% of agencies we surveyed indicated plans to expand their employee recognition programs in 2025. That said, a simple thank you also goes a long way. Being sure to boost morale and reinforcing your employees' work can be done by utilizing things like performance-based incentives, public appreciation, or peer awards whenever possible. Our survey also indicated that agencies that allow hybrid work see higher job satisfaction and 31% stronger retention rates. Keep in mind, work-life balance is a top priority for today's workforce and can have a direct positive impact on your ability to attract and retain top talent. And last but not least, burnout isn't just an individual problem, it's an organizational issue. Over half of agencies are implementing wellness programs focusing on mental health, financial wellness, and work-life balance in 2025. All right, back to a question. We're going to get interactive here again, and hopefully the internet is on our side.
For sure. So for this one, we're actually going to use the comment section here for this poll. What's one employee experience initiative your agency has implemented that's made a difference? Love to hear those answers so we can share some best practices.
Let's see, give everyone a little time.
Everyone's typing, I think.
I see some coming through. I see employee spotlights.
Oh,
That's
I love that.
Yeah.
Employee recognition. Yep, same idea.
Recognition.
Online onboarding. I think that's a very big one. Lunch and learn sessions, a puppy day, my absolute favorite, bringing pups into the office. It just lifts everyone's mood, right? More spotlights. Awesome.
Lots of employee recognition programs, lots of opportunities for learning as well.
Absolutely. Here's a good one, buddy programs for new hires. I think that's a great way to start early to be sure that we're having those employee connections right from the beginning. Volunteer opportunities, that's an excellent one. Come together as a unit, right, and help out the community. Wonderful. Thank you all for sharing. There's some really great feedback in here.
Great.
Wonderful. Looks like lots of wellness programs and lots of employee recognition and ways to sort of lift everybody's mood and make them enjoy being at work as well. Wonderful. So let's talk about succession planning. One of the biggest challenges facing the public sector HR today is the impending retirement wave, often referred to as the silver tsunami. Many agencies are at risk of losing institutional knowledge, yet few have a structured plan to transition leadership to the next generation. 42% of agencies expect to lose 5 to 10% of their workforce within the next decade due to retirements. However, only 12% have structured career mapping programs to prepare for these departures. Without a clear plan, agencies risk leadership gaps, knowledge loss, and hiring struggles. So some key strategies here to bridge the gap include mentorship programs, pairing an experienced employee with newer staff to facilitate that knowledge transfer. Think about cross-training opportunities, encouraging employees to build skills across departments, making that transition smoother. Finally, leadership development initiatives, formal training programs to help prepare high potential employees for leadership roles so that when those positions become vacant, we're ready. We have that next person who is able to step into the role. Okay. So our next trend here is hybrid and flexible work models. So Stephanie promised that we were going to be talking about this here. So hybrid and remote work remain key factors for retention. Agencies that offer flexible work options will have a competitive advantage in today's labor market. Hybrid and flexible work models have become a defining factor in employee retention and satisfaction. While the private sector has embraced remote work, public sector agencies have been slower to adopt these models. But the reality is employees are demanding flexibility, and agencies that don't adapt may struggle to attract and retain top talent. Our research found that 37% of agencies offer hybrid or remote work. It's showing progress, but still room for growth there. 31% are using flexible schedules as a retention tool. This proves that work-life balance is a key factor in keeping employees engaged. 46% of employees would rather leave if remote work were no longer an option. So as the public sector agencies navigate post-pandemic shifts in workplace expectations, hybrid and flexible work models are becoming essential to attract and retain talent. For agencies that are still hesitant about hybrid models, it's worth considering for recruitment and retention efforts. So how can public sector agencies create a successful hybrid work model while maintaining collaboration, performance, and compliance? Here are 3 key areas to focus on. 1, bridging communication gaps. One of the biggest challenges in hybrid work is maintaining that communication and connection between employees. Agencies can overcome this by leveraging digital collaboration tools, scheduling regular check-ins, and fostering a culture of open dialogue between your employees. Second, improving remote onboarding. Remote employees can often feel disconnected during the onboarding process. Agencies should provide structured onboarding programs that include mentorship, virtual training, and screen sharing walkthroughs to ensure a smooth transition. Third, we have tracking performance in hybrid situations. Measuring productivity, whether in person or remotely, can be tricky. Instead of relying solely on attendance-based metrics, agencies should shift to results-driven performance tracking. Using performance management tools can help set clear expectations, track progress, and provide ongoing feedback to employees.
Awesome. I know you, like you mentioned, Amanda, I clearly get excited about this. um, we're getting super nerdy here today, and I love it. And I recently saw these specific examples in the public sector, and these local examples and I wanted to make sure I shared them with all of you. Golden PD and all of Jefferson County, Colorado's 3,400 employees have reported massive improvements in both recruitment and retention from moving to a 4-day work week model. Just one example was that their applicants for entry-level administrative roles jumped from roughly 20 to around 75 on average. There were also additional benefits like they saved on facility costs, utility usage, and much more. And so it really was this sort of win-win for both the county and the employees. Another similar story was recently shared from the staff in San Juan County, Washington, where workers and agencies alike had seen positive improvements in their shift or from their shift in schedule. But my point, and why I'm getting nerdy here, is that this isn't going away. It's only becoming more prevalent as agency staff face personal challenges, and agencies themselves face budgeting challenges. So flexible solutions like this really are that win-win. And drum roll, last but not least, our final trend is the growing reliance on HR data and analytics to inform workforce strategies. Really data-driven decision making and how we can leverage our data in 2025 to make really intentional decisions in our workforce management. Nearly half of all agencies from our survey reported that they're already leveraging data and analytics to improve decision making, influence leadership decisions, and to secure additional budget. 21% reported that they consistently use data and analytics, and another 19% are just beginning to integrate those tools into their processes. This is a strong signal of growing recognition that there is value in data, and that value supports workforce management overall. Data-driven HR strategies can help agencies to predict turnover risks and take proactive measures, identify training needs to upskill employees, and justify budget requests using real workforce insights. Next, predictive analytics is also emerging as a powerful tool for public sector HR teams. By forecasting staffing needs and budget allocations, predictive models allow agencies to proactively address challenges like retirement, bottlenecks, or workload imbalances that leave certain roles at higher risk of turnover. Integrating data-driven decision-making into workforce management empowers agencies to operate more strategically, anticipate needs, and allocate resources effectively to better adapt to an evolving workforce.
Okay, so now let's talk about technology's role in these trends, right? We've covered all the trends. How is technology going to help us here? Okay. Go into our next slide here. There we go. Wonderful. So throughout this presentation, we've discussed the biggest challenges facing public sector HR. It's talent shortages, retention struggles, the demand for flexible work, and need for smarter workforce decisions. But here's the good news, right? HR technology isn't just about automation. It's about enabling agencies to operate smarter, faster, and more competitively in today's job market. So let's talk about the real impact here. What's in it for you? With the right technology, agencies can free up time for strategic HR priorities, like we saw in the poll earlier. Let's automate those repetitive tasks like job postings, applicant tracking, and performance reviews, giving HR teams more time for retention programs and leadership development. It will also make your agency more desirable to job seekers. A seamless digital hiring process improves candidate experience, helping agencies compete with the private sector. Modern tools allow for faster hiring decisions, so you don't have to lose top talent to faster moving organizations. It also helps with improving employee engagement and the experience as well. So self-service HR tools empower employees to access payroll, request time off, manage benefits, reducing the administrative backlogs and increasing satisfaction. Technology makes hybrid and remote work much more manageable, ensuring employees stay connected, engaged, and productive. And finally, we can use data to drive that workforce planning, predict retirements, identify turnover risks, and make proactive decisions about hiring needs. Analytics tools help justify budget increases and optimize resource allocation based on real-time workforce trends. HR technology gives government agencies a competitive advantage in the tight labor market by streamlining hiring and reducing time to fill, creating a modern, employee-friendly workplace where employees can expect self-service portals, digital onboarding, and seamless communication tools. Obviously, technology makes this a reality. And we can have enhanced workforce planning and retention as well. So AI-powered analytics help forecast staffing needs, reducing the risk of unfilled positions and overwhelmed and overworked employees. Performance management tools help employees see a clear career path, leading to higher retention. At the end of the day, agencies that leverage modern HR technology will attract and retain the top talent, operate more efficiently, and improve the overall employee experience. The right tools don't just make HR's job easier, they make your agency a better place to work. Okay, so just to recap here, the 5 biggest trends shaping public sector HR in 2025 are: the public sector job market is shifting in your favor, which is wonderful news. We've all been struggling for so long, right? Agencies that refine their hiring strategies can attract top talent more effectively by optimizing the job marketing, salaries, and employer branding. Trend number 2, AI and automation are underutilized but offer massive potential. Automating resume screening, interview scheduling, and onboarding can save time and improve that hiring speed. Number 3 here, employee experience is key to retention. Agencies can boost retention by investing in career growth, recognition programs, and workplace flexibility. Succession planning is also a critical gap. Agencies that provide leadership, development, and mentorship will secure future talent. Number 4, hybrid work is here to stay. Agencies that embrace hybrid work and flexible schedules will stay competitive and improve employee satisfaction. Number 5 here, workforce analytics drive better decisions. Predictive analytics help agencies forecast retirements, turnover risk, and workforce needs. HR teams that leverage workforce data will make more informed hiring, retention, and budget decisions.
Awesome. Had to unmute myself there again. Thanks, Amanda. So if there's anything you take from our report and all the data we shared today, and there is more, so get excited for that too. I really just want you to, think critically about your logical next step. What is one action item you can take today and bring back to your agency and start to implement to improve all of these things, right? Your total employee life cycle and workforce management from from recruitment to retention and beyond, right? So here are some of those steps, right? Step 1, invest in employer branding to attract talent. It really is critical for you to be able to leverage your agency, especially in, it's sort of almost as equally important in within smaller municipalities as well as larger city or county governments, to be able to position yourself as the employer of choice, right? Why do people want to come work for you? And make sure you share that publicly. Leverage AI and automation to improve efficiency. Don't be afraid of it. Find ways, take baby steps, but find ways to incorporate it so that it takes some of the burden off of you and your team, and lets the technology do the work. Prioritize employee engagement and well-being. Think about all those things you shared. I'm going to puppy day. Whoever that was that had puppy day, I'm coming. So prioritize that. Think about those things, because they don't change, and it could be something as simple as puppy day that will really make your staff feel appreciated and reminded that their well-being is important. Develop hybrid work policies. I know I've harped on this, but they support retention, and they can support your municipality or your city or county in so many more ways. And so really consider getting stakeholders together and figuring out the right way to move forward with doing that. And then use workforce data to make smarter decisions. So in addition to just leveraging AI and automation, really to what Amanda was just talking about, right? Double click on those predictive analytics and leverage them to make sure that you're making the smartest decisions for you and your staff. So lastly, the full report will be included, like I mentioned, both here in this deck with a link, as well as on our website. And as always, we'll follow up with an email after this call, and you'll be able to link to it directly from there. But if you're interested in learning more about NeoGov's tools and how we can help to address some of these challenges as well, please don't be shy to schedule a meeting with a member of our team. We'll certainly walk through it all with you and talk about potential solutions. All right. We've made it to the Q&A. I am struggling to see all of these questions on my screen, but we'll get there. Okay, let's see. I did see some questions come through about the slides, which I just touched on, so I want to say that one more time. Yes, you will get all of this content as well as the report, and that will be publicly available after today's call. Someone asked about the ChatGPT Gov and if that's free. Good question. I do think there is like a free version, and then they scale up with more enterprise solutions, but definitely something to explore even at the free level. Back to all of our answers about our employee recognition. See what else
There is one question here, Stephanie, that I'd like to address. Someone asked if there's something offered as a module with NeoGov for workforce analytics. I encourage you to lean into the analytics and reporting module. Keep in mind that main dashboard you have within Insight for the analytics and reporting module will be recruitment related. You also have the option of creating reports and creating those custom dashboards in there. We do also have that the standard custom dashboard that's built out related to recruitment metrics, where you can scroll right down to the bottom and look at first year attrition rate. Maybe that's a good place to start, where maybe we have one department where that first year attrition rate's very high. Let's get predictive with that. Let's get a pipeline of candidates built out. So I do encourage you all to dig into that analytics and reporting module and create those necessary reports and dashboards to make those data-driven decisions.
Awesome. Lots of questions as well about leveraging AI and how we're using AI today. I think there are a number of ways, and maybe you could speak to this even more than me, Amanda, that it's starting to be incorporated into some of our technology. I think just like everyone in their, maybe not in their hesitation, but it's all new and changing every day. So we're exploring new ways to do that as well within our current system. So I don't know if you want to speak to any of that either.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Stephanie. Our teams are working on incorporating AI at this point. The main AI that exists in our product is within Attract, within that virtual recruiter. It has the ability to sort of scan job postings and class specs to match people essentially with different positions. So that's where it exists right now, but know that our teams are working diligently and trying to get that mixed into our different products as well, so that AI will be in some ways throughout in different areas as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I've heard also, I'm certainly not an end user, but I've heard wonderful things about virtual recruiter. So something to take a look at within Attract. Let's see. Oh, so someone mentioned, curious if we're seeing, with the focus on sort of dismantling DEI at the federal level, if we've seen any trickling down to local levels or expect that to be a trend this year. Obviously, changes in the federal workforce are evolving daily. And so we're sort of digesting and understanding that information as quickly as we can, and probably as quickly as all of you are, right? That said, from all of the personnel that I've had the opportunity to connect with at the state level, local level, the DEI initiatives as they see it are really focused on a lot of the stuff we talked about today, right? Inclusivity, belonging, employee well-being, and whether that's labeled as DEI or not, I believe the agencies will continue to do what's right for their employees, as well as recruiting to make sure that their staff reflect their communities. So really, whether that has a direct effect based on sort of a federal initiative or requirement even, I think the work that you all are doing is going to continue in the same way, and certainly evolve. And as it does, we'll share more on that as well.
A question here about any suggestions or resources for bringing up the idea of a 4-day work week to leadership. Certainly, it's not going to be the easiest conversation, right? Because it's a shift from the traditional 5-day work week into a 4. I would suggest potentially doing an employee survey. Get feedback from your current employees on how they would feel about it. Not only that, obviously we have this report that you can bring with you, right? That has data built behind it. It might be a good place to start, but the key to going to leadership with this is to have survey results, I would say, and also have a plan in place of how you're going to make those changes. It will make them easy. It will make it easier for them to envision the changes, even though it feels sort of probably alien at first, right? Going from that 5 to a 4-day work week. So those are my suggestions there.
Yeah. I think that those are great, Amanda. I think the other thing that's interesting when the hybrid work or 4-day work week model comes up is the fact that it makes it would likely make it more challenging for those agencies to see any significant increases in pay once that 4-day work week is in place, right? That said, that keeps it pretty stable, right? That keeps those line items from a budgeting perspective pretty stable, and at the same time keeps the staff engaged and happy. They're more productive during those 4 days. And that's a lot of those same insights that came out of those 2 examples that I mentioned. And so I'd encourage you to go look at those as well and see if there are any insights you could pull when you go back to your leadership to suggest it. All right. Still questions coming in. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of thank yous.
What is a good first place to start building data-driven analytics in a workplace? I think for those of you using the NeoGov systems, first and foremost, get yourself familiar with analytics and reporting if you're not already. We have a number of different places in the community with training videos or step-up series to get a feel for that. I would start with those dashboards. Build reports with specific information like those attrition rates and whatnot. It can be really helpful even just to give you a bird's eye view, right, of the organization. So that to me is where I would start first place. Um, you know, employee surveys, getting feedback and analyzing that data, I think could also be very valuable, speaking to especially the trends that we've talked about here. So I think potentially those could be some great places for you to start there.
Awesome. And then I'm going to take this last one here, and then I think we'll probably wrap it up. This person shared that their county wants to bring back everyone into the office 5 days a week. It's so upsetting. But there is, or is there any data about how bringing the federal employees back affected their retention recently? Like I said earlier, unfortunately, that story is changing by the second, but it will be really interesting to watch. If there is any time before that sort of county initiative goes into place, you might want to point your leadership to look at what's happening at the federal level and see if there are at minimum some like proactive insights that they can sort of incorporate, right, or pull from how this is all rolling out at the federal level. Great. Well, I think that was mostly it. And thank you all for being here today. Again, just to reiterate, you'll get the slides, the report, the recording, all the things very soon. And thank you, Amanda, for being here. I really enjoyed spending the time with you all today. So thank you and good luck in 2025.
Thank you all.